Mine, pull over, you haven't got a licence.
No.
Huge close-up of the chrome Jaguar. Now it's roaring up a slope onto the M4. Despite Withnail's effort, the three-wheeler has superior acceleration and pulls away.
See, we're being overtaken by everything on four wheels. This bastard does 10,000 miles in 400.
Where are we?
London.
The engine beats like a flabby drum, firing on only 3 cylinders. Withnail floors the accelerator, 40 is about maximum. He hasn't got the mirrors together, turns back over his shoulder. Here comes another fucker.
Oh, that's me. Here comes another fucker.
The other fucker pulls alongside. Two faces stare into the Jag. They are both wearing identical hats. They are both policemen.
Oh no!
It's perfectly alright. Leave them to me.
You're full of gin, you silly tool.
Instructions to pull over are issued. The cops park their van in front of them and get out. As they walk towards the Jag, Withnail hides bottles. A fat face appears at the window. Withnail doesn't open it. A black, leather-clad knuckle taps. Marwood issues another.
Oh no!
And Withnail winds the window down. Nothing is said for a moment. Government eyes scan the bottles. From anyone's point of view, this doesn't look good. From a policeman's point of view, it looks fucking wonderful. Out in the front, bearded, clearly drunk. One in the back, bearded, clearly drugged.
Where are we?
Bit early.
Bit early in the morning for festivities, isn't it?
These aren't mine, they belong to him.
You're drunk.
Pause that way.
I assure you I'm not, officer. Honestly, I've only had a few ales.
Policeman 2 examines the front tyre, sees his reflection in it.
Out of the car, please, sir.
Exterior carriageway, Jaguar, suburbs, dawn, Withnail and Marwood get out. All the usual terror, radios going, lights flashing, job satisfaction. Here comes a breath kit.
I want you to take one deep breath and fill this bag.
I'm sorry, Withnail looks at the bag, looks at the copper, shakes his head.
Are you refusing to fill this bag?
I most certainly am.
I'm placing you under arrest.
Don't be ridiculous. I haven't done anything.
The back of the van is open. Withnail is hustled towards it.
Yeah.
Look here, my cousin's a QC.
Policeman 2 turns into a Nazi, extraordinarily high-pitched.
Get the back of the van!
Withnail gets in the back of the van. Marwood joins him. Interior police station, day. A green wall with a cream stripe around it. The room is full of uniforms. Withnail has handed a sort of bottle and instructed to piss in it. The arresting officer escorts him to a corner where he's surrounded with curtains. The sort of thing that would go around hospital beds. Forms are getting filed and filled in at the desk. Marwood looks at his watch. The constabulary receives tea in mugs. These boys are paid to be suspicious, and they are. Policeman 2 approaches the curtains. He wants to know if Withnail has done. Evidently he hasn't. The curtains are pulled aside and Marwood gets a view. Withnail stares back. Suspicion increases as he turns away, left arm pumping like a chicken's wing. Marwood suddenly realises what is happening. The device! The policeman doesn't know what's happening, but knows something is afoot. Pulls his prisoner around. Here's something for the police gazette. 6 inches of transparent plastic tube hanging from Withnail's zip. A valve on the end of it like a tiny tap. As the copper comprehends what he's staring at, this valve delivers. Now Withnail's trying to turn it off. Danny should stick to gold. Exterior street, London day. A bright sunny day, cottonwool clouds, trees in leaf, flowers, a luxury new development of apartments. Penthouses at the top. But all this is to come. Right now the street is dirty and dingy in the middle of winter. The Jag turns in, parks opposite the huge architect's billboard. The only sunny day around here. The warehouse has been demolished. These hardly seem to notice. Flashing lights all over the pavement. The first wave of wankers arriving at sight. They get out and vanish into their house. Interior hallway, stairway, apartment day. Stagger into the hallway, utterly wasted. Withnail makes an inspection of the mail, a considerable amount of crap. No national assistance payments. This is serious. He looks at Marwood.
Where are our checks?
We didn't sign on.
The house is divided into 2 apartments. Theirs is on the upper level. Marwood unlocks the front door. Withnail follows upstairs.
That wouldn't make any difference to last week's payment.
They've reached the bathroom door. Definitely someone in there. Half alarmed and half coming on brave, Marwood barges in. A vast black man occupies the bath. About £300 and as black as your hat. Marwood looks at him and he looks back. Nothing said, and Marwood quits the bathroom and looks at Withnail. Still nothing said, and Marwood is now clattering upstairs, pushes it to a room at the top. Interior bedroom apartment day, pitch black. Marwood gropes around the bed to get to the window. He tears the curtain apart, an animal on the bed. He looks back, some sort of fox. And then later a tranquilised man sits up.
What are you doing in my bed?
Danny scratches, muttering something about sleep. Marwood is angry.
Who's that huge spade in the bath? Alright, you've got 10 minutes and I want you out, because I want to get in. 10 minutes and you better be on your feet.
Interior living room, apartment, day. Withnail is down on the couch with the bottle going. Marwood has a glass. Withnail attempts to refill. He refuses it and seems distinctly anxious. Stands and opens the curtains. A stretch in the country and this place is a shock. Smells like a tube station. Air cooked with ashtrays, just like they left it. The door opens and Daddy comes in, wearing his pelt and a school satchel.
How did you get in?
Ingenuity, man. Come up the drain.
Danny slings his pelt on the floor. It's a mangy brown fox with glass eyes. A grandmother's garment.
Would you like a smoke?
Yes.
No thanks, I've got to make a call.
He walks to the window looking at his watch. Evidently still too early. Danny unloads equipment, a bag of grass and Rizzler papers. He begins tearing out a stream of the latter.
What are you going to do with those?
The joint I'm about to roll requires a craftsman. It can utilise up to 12 skins. It's called a Camberwell carrot.
Marwood turns away from the window. Danny is applying the spittle.
It is impossible to use 12 papers on one joint.
It's impossible to make a Camberwell carrot with anything less.
Who says it's Camberwell carrot?
I do. I invented it in Camberwell and it looks like a carrot.
Danny introduces Withnail's nostrils to the grass.
A
Uh,
good bouquet.
Oh, fuck man.
A good bouquet.
Lost. Oh, a good bouquet?
The answer is yes, but Withnail's attention is with Marwood. He's nervous about his call, and his nerves are making Withnail nervous.
Do you realise this gaff is overrun with rodents?
A vibration from outside. Marwood gets to his feet again. He looks across the street. A hydronic hammer is in action on the building site opposite. More wankers are arriving, and Danny begins to roll.
When I come in, I see one the size of a fucking dog.
no, that is a dog. It belongs to the fellow downstairs.
Does his dog get in the oven?
No, his dog doesn't come up here.
Then it was a rodents. Opened the oven door and it was there, looking at me. Quite freaked me at the time. I was going to cook onions.
Marwood's watch is getting more attention. He figures it's late enough to make his move. Coat on, and he heads for the door.
Are you going to bed now?
No, phone.
He leaves with Withnail's eyes following. His thoughts are almost visible. A good chance Marwood scored work. What happens then? Doesn't bear thinking about. But he's thinking about it.
Who's he going to telephone?
Squat Betty.
He stands and walks to the window, stares across the street, a phone booth opposite. Withnail's point of view, Marwood walks inside. Withnail returns to the couch, swallows wine and clarifies himself.
His agent. But he's wasting his time because he won't be in.
Interior, another angle, living room, apartment day. Presuming Ed sits on the sofa. Seeing as he's not saying much, I'm not saying much about him except he's really absolutely huge. Got a pair of Vaseloons on the side of tents. Got a tiny red beetle cap on top of his big head like a pimple. Music? Maybe. The Camberwell carrot is completed. Danny lights and fills lungs. A drag or two later, it's handed to Woodland.
This will tend to make you very hard.
This Camberwell carrot represents perfection of the joint roller's art, an amalgamation of a toilet roll tube and an ice cream cone stuffed with dope. Withnail inhales with respect, slaps a hand over his mouth to prevent his lungs rejecting the exhaust.
This grass is the most powerful in the Western Hemisphere. I've specially flown it in from my man in Mexico. He's an expert. His name is Juan. This grass grows exactly 2,000 feet above sea level.
Nice.
Marwood walks in and is in the middle of his crap. The carrot is back on its way to Danny. Both look up. Withnail's eyes interrogate, but Danny asks the question.
Did you get the part now?
No.
Withnail's spirits instantly rise. Danny hands Marwood the joint.
I've got a different one.
Marwood seems in a state of virtual shock, takes a deep hit on the joint without much realisation of it, speaks via a lungful.
They want me to play the lead.
A moment of eye contact with Withnail, aware of the potential hurt, that Withnail smiles
Congratulations.
and reaches for the joint.
Where exactly have you two been?
Holiday in the countryside.
That's a very good idea. London is a country coming down from its trip. We are 60 days from the end of this decade. And there's going to be a lot of refugees. We're about to witness the world's biggest hangover. There's fuck all Howard Wilson can do about it.
The carrot blows in Withnail's mouth as he inhales.
They're going to be around this town shouting, bring out your dead.
The joint is handed back to its creator. Danny addresses Marwood.
There was a geezer around here the other day looking for you.
What geezer?
Some bold geezer reckons you owe him 260 quid. Back rent. I told him there's no question paying rent for a property cut with rodents.
Presuming Ed passes the joint to Marwood, who sucks it cautiously.
He takes exception to this and comes on really boldly.
What do you mean? Ratty?
Withnail has amused himself, starts to chuckle. Danny is serious.
I told him to piss off.
A hydraulic hammer starts barking with rabies on the building site.
You bloody fool, they'll have us in court again.
No, he won't. It ain't legal.
I assume we can quote you, can we?
Withnail is still amused. Danny replies with deadly sincerity.
Law rather than appeals to me, actually.
Withnail stares at him. He looks like a stone sheep. The valve of credibility blows in Withnail's brain. Laughter and smoke explode from his face. Danny looks at him, their eyes meet. Withnail falls off the sofa, rolls hysterically with harsh squiggles. Danny raises a foot to allow him to pass, retrieves the carrot, looks towards the waving hysteric at his feet without expression.
Just how?
And so is Marwood, though he disguises it, he isn't enjoying it.
Stop laughing, this is serious.
No, it ain't. I looked into it.
Danny takes a hit, opposite to Marwood. This time it's refused.
I studied the papers.
What papers?
Legal papers.
Withnail is crying with laughter, manages enough air to speak.
He can appear for me. I've got another case pending. He can fight for both for me.
Another rictus of laughter. Withnail tries to crawl away from the table, fails and falls on his gut. Marwood is deadly serious.
What papers, Danny?
Danny reaches for his satchel. Marwood grabs it and empties it out onto the table. The usual flotsam and food and makeup. Also the National Assistance envelope and a legal-looking document.
He's got our cheques.
Withnail is too gone to care. The carrot glows like a log.
What do you do with these?
I was going to cash them in for you.
Marwood tries to look reasonable at the documents. Juan's shipment gets in the way, and so does presuming Ed. He starts spinning Withnail's globe with both hands and chanting to himself with a voice as deep as a well.
For Christ's sake, Withnail, stop laughing. This is a notice of eviction.
Give it to my barrister.
Presuming Ed's religious ceremony increases the fury of Withnail's hysterics and heightens Marwood's anxiety. He stares at the vast spade spinning Withnail's world around it, with all the dreadful connotations inherent in it. Marwood has gone a proverbial whiter shade of pale. The old black magic is throbbing through his veins. A certain breathlessness is evident. It's like he's in for a dose.
Stop laughing. They're throwing us out.
And still the world spins as Marwood tries to maintain sanity.
For God's sake, shut up, will you? You're giving me the fear.
He charges the window, opens it, a war-like blast of pneumatics from the construction site. This is worse. He closes it again.
Give me a tenner, Danny. My brain's capsizing. I've got to fuck my brain.
Change down, man. Find your neutral space. Gotta rush. It'll pass. Be settled.
Marwood takes his advice, stares at Danny with a clenched jaw that the barrister is calmly finishing. This huge carrot on his own, teeth are exposed in a smile. Withnail makes a slow re-entry.
Aren't you getting absurdly high?
Precisely the reason I'm smoking.
Christ, that was funny.
He crawls back to the sofa, gets offered the carrot. It's refused.
Couldn't. I'm spaced.
Not as spaced as your rodents.
Don't talk about them.
I imagine they're talking to each other.
What do you mean?
I dealt with them.
Dealt with them? What the fuck do you mean?
Toast them. I expect they're dead down the drain.
The electricity increases voltage. Marwood is losing control again.
Dead down the drain? What have you done to them?
Giving them all drugged onions.
Jesus Christ! Why have you drugged their onions?
Sit down, man. Take control.
Give me a Valium. I'm getting fear.
You have done something to your brain. You have made it hard. If I laid 10 miles a diazepam on you, you would do something else to your brain. You will make it low. Why trust one drug and not the other?
Reality floods on Withnail. He reaches for the legal document.
That's politics, isn't it?
I'm going to need some sugar.
And he beetles off into the kitchen with Danny speaking after him.
I recommend you smoke more grass.
No way. No fucking way.
That's an unfortunate political decision. Reflected in these times.
What are you talking
What are
about?
you talking about?
Sorry.
Politics, man! If you're hanging onto a rising balloon, you're presented with a difficult decision.
The joint has gone out and he relights it and takes a big hit.
Oh, Christ.
Let go before it's too late. Or hang on, keep getting higher and higher. Posing the question, how long can you keep a grip of the rope?
Marwood returns spooning sugar from a bag, but he doesn't rejoin the group. Withnail is no longer smiling, but going down.
They're selling hippie wigs and Woolworths. Man, the guy's decade, the history of mankind is over.
Another lung-shattering hit and he passes the joint to presuming.
And as presuming and here so consciously pointed out, we have failed to paint it black.
Interior bedroom apartment day. Big close-up of an old suitcase on the bed. It's already almost full and hand-stuffed the last few items in. The last sock, the last crumpled shirt, the battered notebook. Written on the corner in black ink is Withnail and I. The lid of the ancient case is closed and the catch is snapped shut. A hand reaches for a black trilby on the bedpost. The hat journeys across the room and Marwood's face is finally revealed. He stares at himself in a mirror. His head sports a 1914 cut. Hard to get used to after such a name. One thing, he doesn't look as happy. He turns away. Rain is drumming on the window. What few possessions he has are packed in cardboard boxes. He picks up his case and pauses at the door. Last look around the room he knows he'll never see again. Interior living room apartment day. Withnail looks up from the sofa as Marwood walks in. Nothing said, but there isn't much to say. But the eyes are saying a lot. Both are aware this is it. It's time to say goodbye.
My dad will pick up the boxes in the week, and he's going to do something about the car.
Withnail nods and smiles a bit, and Marwood smiles a bit back.
Well, I'm off now then.
Already?
And he suddenly animates and he's going to make it harder than it is.
I've got us a bottle open.
He flourishes it with great glee. Marwood clearly wants to leave.
I confiscated it from Monty's supplies. 53 Margaux. Best of the century. I'm sure he wouldn't resent us a parting drink.
He's about to fill a pair of waiting glasses, but Marwood doesn't want to wait. Wants the goodbye over with, and he wants out of here.
I can't with now. I've got to walk to the station. I'll be late.
Well, there's always time for a glass.
No, I don't have the time.
All right, I'll walk you to the park. We can drink it on the way.
The last thing Marwood wanted to hear, but Withnail is already climbing into his overcoat and scarf and grabs his brolly to leave. Exterior Regent's Park, Camden Down, day. The park is as bleak and deserted as it's ever been. The afternoon is dissolving into threadbare rain. They walk the path like they've done a dozen times before, but they were together then. Now they're already done. Strangers already, and the sweet and sour music is but an addition to the wider sentiment. Marwood carries his battered suitcase. Withnail his battered black umbrella. His bottle is half drunk, and he attempts to hand it over again, but this time Marwood shakes his head.
No, no more thanks.
So Withnail drinks another mouthful. Marwood is almost in pain.
Listen, Withnail, it's a stinker. Why don't you go back?
Because I want to walk you to the station.
Well, don't. Please don't.
They stop and stare at each other, just the sound of rain beating on the umbrella.
I really don't want you to.
The vacuum has been burst, and there's lots of silence about. Marwood lays a hand on his friend's shoulder, almost a whisper.
I shall miss you, Withnail.
And the sadness has finally hit, and Withnail is looking bleak.
I shall miss you too. Chin chin.
He offers a toast and drinks, and Marwood turns and walks away. Withnail watches him evaporate into rain. He doesn't look back. Just the sound of rain beating on the umbrella. Withnail walks a little way with his bottle and almost inadvertently finds himself in front of the wolf's cage. He hangs wrists over the railings, staring at the pissed-off wolves. They stare back, looking as sad as him. He addresses one with a profound lack of sentiment.
I have of late, wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth.
And the 53 again journeys to his lips. The wolf keeps staring. Withnail keeps speaking like a natural instinct.
And indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition, that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory.
Now the wine is adding some volume. This is Withnail back in gear, and all his pride and rage is adding emotion.
And this most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapours.
Withnail is suddenly on a stage somewhere, obviously at Stratford, and his expression asks, and by God I'd be good enough, wouldn't I? Absolutely brilliant, wouldn't I? No more sadness now, all the fire is black, and all the power.
What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason! How infinite in faculty! How like an angel in apprehension! How like a god!
He looks at the wolves in wonder that the bastards aren't clapping.
The beauty of the world! The paragon of animals! And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, not women neither, nor women neither.
Albert Finney never felt so good. He takes a last and final slug at the bottle and casts it aside. By Christ, it was the best rendition of Hamlet the world will ever see. The only pity was it was the only wolves that saw it. They stare at Withnail through the bars. He bids them a silent good afternoon and walks away. Point of view wolves. Withnail walks across the park until he is a tiny figure in the distance. The sweet and sour music rises into appropriate orchestral perfection as he finally and far away disappears.
Well done, everyone.